Today I'm going to make a brilliant red compound called nickel bis dimethylglyoximate, which is also known as nickel DMG. It's a complex of nickel that can be used to detect the presence of nickel ions, but also has an extremely light-fast scarlet pigment. Now luckily, this particular synthesis is fairly simple, and all you really need is dimethylglyoxime, ammonia, and some nickel salt. I decided to use nickel sulfate heptahydrate, and to get started, I simply dissolved 7 grams in a minimal volume of distilled water. I next poured 5.81 grams of dimethylglyoxime into another beaker of distilled water and allowed it to mix for a while under constant stirring. Dimethylglyoxime is an organic chelating agent, which means it can form highly stable complexes with metal ions. In the case that nickel binds to dimethylglyoxime, the result is a beautiful, intensely colored solid that's really easy to spot. This is why nickel bis dimethylglyoximate is used in qualitative inorganic analysis. The intense red color is really, apparent, and it confirms the presence of nickel. Anyway, dimethylglyoxime is highly insoluble in water, and so this step is done more to try and create a fine suspension of the stuff rather than try and dissolve it in any real way. Once it had been mixing for a few minutes, I began to slowly add the nickel sulfate solution to the dimethylglyoxime, which immediately turned the mixture a light pink as product began to form. This color turned to an intense red as more nickel sulfate was added, and eventually I just dumped the whole beaker in and allowed the two to react under constant stirring for about 10 minutes. After about 10 minutes had passed, I began to slowly add 30% ammonia to the mixture in order to basify it and stabilize the final product. You want to continue adding ammonia until the mixture smells of ammonia or until the pH is at least 12. At this point, I put the beaker on my hot plate and heated the mixture to about 50 degrees Celsius, where it was held for half an hour under constant stirring in order to fully stabilize the product. While this is sitting around doing its thing, I figured I'd take a second to explain the how and the why behind this fascinating chemical reaction. Now, as I mentioned earlier, dimethylglyoxime is a chelating agent. More specifically, however, dimethylglyoxime is a strong field bidentate ligand that will form dative bonds to nickel through its amine nitrogens. As soon as two equivalents of dimethylglyoxime bind to nickel, they'll next form hydrogen bonds to each other to give a large macrocyclic ligand. This complex strongly coordinates to nickel, forming a big flat molecule of nickel bis dimethylglyoximate that is entirely insoluble. This insolubility is due to the fact that big flat molecules like this tend to stack very nicely. This results in the formation of a dimer, which isn't really that uncommon for coordination compounds. This nickel bis dimethylglyoximate dimer is particularly stable as their large flat surfaces result in strong van der Waals interactions that have to be disrupted all at once in order to pry the molecules apart. Another great example of this would be polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which also tend to be quite insoluble. However, as you might have already noticed, since our final product is neutral, and nickel here is cationic, only the deprotonated form of dimethylglyoxime can take part in this reaction. This is why ammonia is used, and it's necessary to guarantee the reaction goes to completion. As for the red color, nickel bis dimethylglyoximate exhibits wide absorbance bands with maximums at 445 and 543 nanometers. This puts the emission spectra of nickel bis dimethylglyoximate firmly in the red range of the visible spectrum, which you can clearly see. In accordance with the molecular orbital diagram for nickel and nitrogen, these absorptions could be due either to the excitation of ground state nickel electrons residing in the filled d orbitals or the s orbitals up to empty antibonding pi orbitals of the chromophore nitrogen. This is called a metal to ligand charge transfer and can be seen in a huge variety of transition metal complexes. Typically speaking, the excitation from the s orbital to the antibonding pi orbital typically requires such high energies that the absorptions and emissions fall firmly within the UV spectrum. Since UV light is invisible to humans, we can assume that the transition responsible for the brilliant red color is probably due to the excitation of nickel's d orbital electrons. There's obviously a lot more to this that I might cover in a future video, but for now, let's get back to the synthesis. Once 30 minutes had passed, the beaker was taken off the heat, allowed to cool, and my product collected in my Buchner funnel. I wasn't really certain how or if this stuff could be recrystallized, so as a final washing step I made sure to rinse it thoroughly with cold water, followed by cold isopropyl alcohol. Once I'd pulled off as much liquid as possible, I scraped the red paste onto a watch glass to dry. This stuff dries very easily and only required about a day on my desk before the powder was bone dry. Now, one interesting quality of this stuff is that it seems to be affected by what looks like static electricity, despite the fact that I made certain to ground myself and my tools as soon as I noticed this strange behavior. Basically, it'll cling strongly to whatever it's touching, and leap comically far if you try to scrape it off whatever it's clung to. To demonstrate this, I placed the watch glass on a plain piece of paper and carefully mixed it around for a bit, being as careful as possible not to flick any of the product out of the watch glass. As you can see, however, the stuff kept flinging itself out of the watch glass and onto the paper to the point that after about a minute of stirring, a fairly substantial amount had ended up on the paper. I'm honestly not even sure what this quality is called or how it seems to mimic static attraction when everything had been completely grounded. If you've seen this before, feel free to leave a comment, as I'd really like to know. Anyway, I eventually scraped the majority of the nickel bis dimethylglyoximate into a weigh boat for a final mass of 7.07 grams, representing a 98% yield. This number seems a little too high, especially considering this stuff was constantly flinging itself out of the container, and I'm guessing that it's just holding on to a small amount of water despite appearing completely dry. Now at this point, I started messing with the nickel bis dimethylglyoximate that had flung itself out onto the paper, and I thought to myself, this looks really nice, and maybe it could make a really nice pigment. To this end, I decided to do a little bit of research to see if it had ever been used as a pigment, and as it turns out, nickel bis dimethylglyoximate is pretty widely used as a paint, specifically for automobiles, planes, and boats. Apparently it's preferred in these contexts due to its extreme durability and very high light fastness, and since I don't really know enough about why you might use one pigment on a canvas and another on a car, I decided to try to make this stuff into a paint. To do this, I begin by adding a small scoop of the nickel bis dimethylglyoximate to a ground glass plate, followed by a few drops of linseed oil. I then use a little paint scraper tool thing that I think is called a palette knife to mix the two thoroughly together. I then use a muller to grind the pigment into the oil while simultaneously crushing the nickel bis dimethylglyoximate into even smaller particles. This is continued for about 15 minutes until I feel I've got a decent paint consistency going on, which is, hopefully long enough. At this point, I went ahead and swatched my new red paint onto a piece of paper that I'd pre-treated with something called gesso. The gesso is basically just a layer of calcium carbonate used in oil painting, as the oil would quickly absorb into plain paper. You can also see here that I'd previously swatched a couple of violet pigments, and I'll have videos for how to make those coming out within the next few weeks, hopefully. Anyway, as you can see, nickel bis dimethylglyoximate is a beautiful red pigment that works wonderfully as a paint, whether in oil or water medium. Given the stuff is cheap, durable, and entirely light fast, I'm really not certain why it doesn't see more widespread use as a pigment, especially given the extreme toxicity of similarly stable alternatives such as cadmium red. With that in mind, however, this compound isn't entirely safe either, as nickel has been implicated as a possible human carcinogen. And I guess painting is just sort of dangerous. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments if you want to see more pigment videos like this one. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to my members here on YouTube for your support, as it's critical in funding the work I do here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.